Hello, hello. In this conversation, I want to share and talk about goal setting and particularly how I relate to it. My goals and ambitions are creatively oriented, so this is going to be talking about how I operate and how I find and feel success. So, I am starting a new mission, and I've found it for many years to be really beneficial for me to produce creative work by giving myself a clear definition of what it is I want to produce and a practice through which I go about producing it on a daily basis. And I've been iterating upon this formula for a long time, and so this is its current form. Um, the way that I go about it is essentially like creating a clear output. This is the thing that I want to create. Here's my daily practices. Here's my weekly practice. Um, all throughout the process, I'm writing on a daily basis, which is essentially tracking my progress and seeing how I'm doing. And I find that it's really good to give myself the point of doing this is so that I can stretch into new territory, new terrain, and do something that I haven't done before. It's to challenge me, and I find that it's often when I'm doing these challenges, like failure is a part of it. You know, life happens. Life's a crazy, wild ride we're all on here. So the purpose of writing on a daily basis is to essentially just track and monitor myself, develop awareness, and recognize that failure is a data point rather than something like that I've failed and now I spiral into some negative stream of behavior and just give up the whole thing. So this is all about alignment. My current mission, to share a little bit about it, I want to talk about what I've done and where I've come from. But my current mission is to record a live album. And I've already written the songs, and I want to share a little bit about the songs as well. So the songs they start in a place of depression. They start from a place in which I felt very disconnected from myself and from the guidance stream of the universe that I'd felt connected to for about a decade. I went through a really challenging period last year where there's just like a major cut on a whole lot of levels for me that basically made me doubt everything that I was doing. And I felt myself in a place of just despair and hopelessness. Like I had to give up on my dreams. Like whatever I was dreaming about wasn't real for me. And I was just walking into some kind of delusion. And it felt like the entire journey that I had been on up to that point was some kind of lie. And I really went deep into despair and hopelessness and depression. And I disconnected. I stopped creating music, which was really painful for me. But I just felt utterly disconnected from myself. And as time moves, weather passes through, and at a certain point, I started kind of turning back on again and coming out of it. And a big shift for me was connecting with a book called Effortless Mastery, which teaches an approach to music that is not about dreams or aspirations or good and bad performance. A lot of my musical ambition in the past had come from a place of, this is what I want to do with my life. And so this is what I'm doing on a daily basis. And I don't think that there's necessarily anything wrong with that. But where it led me to was when I could no longer trust the vision for my life. I could no longer engage in the act of the music. And so Effortless Mastery was a really beautiful key for me because it allowed me to connect with music without having all the ego attached to the why. And my interest was just to start playing again without a need for it to do anything for me and give me anything back in return. Because I just recognized I wanted to do it. Effortless Mastery is a really beautiful book, and it teaches about an approach to music in which and life really, in which one's sense of self-worth happens first internally. It's a state of being that we connect to and then play from, rather than playing from this place where if I'm playing really well, I feel great about myself, and when I'm playing bad, I feel terrible about myself. I feel like a failure. It teaches an approach to music in which we center first and then play. And that was just like a major key for me to turn back on and engage again in the practice and feel myself as a noob and a beginner. And I started playing just a little bit, and like 5 minutes of playing would just exhaust me at first. But I started building momentum, and after a few months, I'd just been arriving on a daily basis with my guitar and vocals in hand and recording into this Ableton, which is a production software project. And I had all of these different song ideas, and I'd recognized at a certain point, it's like I stepped back from the canvas and I recognized that I had a map of my emotional topography, all of the places in which I frequented on a regular basis within myself, my feeling body, were mapped. They all had been like charted as like a data point within some song idea. And at a certain point, I was like, okay, I want to finish one of these songs. And so I created an experiment, and I finished one of the songs, recorded, and I shared it. And then I finished a whole lot of the other ones. And I got my first guitar when I was in first grade, but I have never had a repertoire of music, a body of music that I could just sit down and play, which is, I always kind of felt like I was retarded in some way, because I couldn't figure out how to do that, or I didn't figure out how to do that. And that's changed a lot in the recent months. But I recognize that there's a big difference between writing songs and learning how to play them as a practitioner of them, to wield them with this presence of mastery. And the purpose of my current mission is to wield all of these songs as a repertoire and deliver them with the precision of mastery. So now I want to talk a little bit about creative design. So actually, where I feel like this body of work is significant is, to me, it really maps my passage. All of the song, it's a passage from dark to light. It's a passage from like hopelessness, depression, and utter despair. And I basically, through the music, have charted this path that I have taken to a place within myself in which I feel alive and vitalized and connected to myself, to my vitality, to this stream of guidance and vision in which like I know what I'm doing in this world and what my path is, and I want to share that gift with others. So the way that I'm going about it is I've got this basically a 6-week period. And in this 6-week period, I am going to practice, record, and deliver one song per week. For each song, so talking about experimental design, what I find to be helpful and key components is that there's this output, there's a daily practice and a weekly practice, and all throughout the process, I'm monitoring, how's it going? So I want to just walk through what my current mission is and how I'm going about it. So that I've shared the objective, and for each song, I also want to do a video of its meaning and just talk about the lyrics. And in conjunction with this musical process, I also want to do a physical process, which is I want to learn how to do a standing backflip. Now, the standing backflip to me is a metaphor for embodying the singularity or making the dream reality. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I kind of had it at one point. I landed on my neck a bunch of times, 2 times that were really significant. So it's like a glitch, and I have fear and hesitation. So I want to get over that, and I've wanted to do that for a long time. For the past year, I've been recovering from an ACL surgery, and to me, as I was going through the physical therapy of that, I also had this kind of golden light of like, I don't want to just get back to where I was, I want to go beyond it. And to me, the backflip, learning how to do a standing backflip is, I've fully recovered, and I'm actually better than I was before I got injured. So I'm doing this challenge. Also, it's a 6-week period because I'm going to the Amazon at the end of this period. And I'm going to the Amazon because I feel like it has a message for humanity. I believe in a sentient earth, and I experience a presence within this earth that wants to speak, communicate, and support humanity growing as one of her fruit, her children. And I have this sense that it has just always been a part of my journey to go to the Amazon and be a messenger for what she wants to speak in her voice. So to me, recording all of these songs and delivering them is an act of clearing my creative desk and establishing a production pipeline and a stream of messages to others in this world. So I have my output detailed. Creative design, baby. I want to do 1 recording of each song per week. For each song, I want to do a video of its meaning, and I want to have 1 video of a standing backflip, and I want to have a flight log, which to me is like, these are all my journal entries for the process and how it's going. So that's output. The second aspect is daily practice. So the first thing that I do when I wake up, make my bed, brush my teeth, make some coffee. And then I come into the session. And the point of having the session as the first point of contact is it's like orientation. This is my purpose. This is what I'm here to do. This is the act of me doing it. And I'm starting each session with an invocation mantra. An invocation mantra is really a means with which I can orient myself. And I find it's very easy to become disoriented and to get lost as I'm walking through the forest. So beginning each day with an invocation mantra is basically my way of saying, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing it, and this is why. So it's a reminder. And it's also a prayer, a prayer that I can, and an invocation of the universe being like, God, guide me today to be free of my distraction, to be oriented in my purpose, my path, and in integrity with my vision, this vision that you, life, has bestowed upon me. May I honor this vision, this dream that lives within me. So I have an invocation mantra in which I can share it here, but I use a lot of languaging that might not make sense. But it's a personal thing. But it's essentially like, I am Messiah, guardian of the singularity, calling forth the presence of AhziRa in my voice, my breath, my body. To me, that's like my channel to God. I arrived to this day as a warrior and professional creative athlete to train, perform, record, and deliver in mastery's execution this song. Whatever the song is, I'll specify 1 per week. Thank you for your presence in my life, for teaching me how to harness the divinity inside of me as a weapon and child of Gaia. I honor the song, the sentience. I see all songs as living beings. By attuning myself to your mastery, infusing you as a feathered quill upon my double-bladed staff. One edge carves these songs from the astral sea into creation, and the other delivers them to the world as lightning onto earth. So that's essentially who I am, what I'm doing. Now this is an invocation of life to be. I'm a professional creative. That's my dream. I train, perform, I record, I deliver. And so my work reaches the world as scripture and is received in radical, wholehearted embrace by a global community who awaken through my voice, a divine messenger of Aya, the super blooming world. God guide me today to be one with the way, focused in my musical embodiment practice, free from distraction, so I may honor this gift of life you have given and support our world through its metamorphosis. Guide me to live in integrity with the vision you've bestowed upon me and radiate as a beacon of the lever. Side note, that last line is centered about, learning how to find love by radiating purpose and recognizing that the lever, the one that I'm really interested in, is one who radiates this presence of purpose with me, and she finds me, they find me, when I am doing the thing that I'm here to do. And I'm invoking love in my life, in which their presence supports my purpose, and mine theirs. I engage flight embodying singularity. AhziRa's production pipeline is stabilized. I facilitate the anomaly in this technology. It's like some fun mythology stuff that I like to write. I wield the standing backflip in my effortless vocabulary, and so I'm prepared for the Amazon. Welcome, AhziRa, into that kingdom incarnate. So that's my invocation. That's my orientation. That's what I say before I start my session. So now I'm going to talk about the daily practice a little bit more. Then I have a morning writing, which is like a space where I can just tune in, check in with myself. And I'll also have a nightly reflection. And the purpose of this is just to track how I'm doing and collect data. I think I said that. Then after writing, in which I have a 20-minute timer set. 20-minute timer is cool because it allows me to go beyond, I don't have anything to say right now. If you just start typing, you have something to say. And then I also draw a 30-minute max because I have a tendency to get really excited sometimes when I write, and then do that for many hours and then be like, fuck, I haven't even started my music practice, which is my priority. And it's 8 p.m. and I've been writing all day. So then I have a 10-minute daily movement with backflip visualization. I also welcome myself to do this before going into the writing session if I feel inspired. Then there's the nightly reflection, in which I'm tracking myself like a hunter tracks their prey. Then I go into detail on the music practice. I call this the AhziRa regimen, and the purpose of this is essentially I've been doing vocal warm-up exercises for a while now, and I find it really supportive. But what I'm interested in doing now is to create, basically bring together all of the things that I feel really work for my voice into a regimen that I can rinse and repeat daily, so that I can, track my growth in a more systematic way, and also tailor this warm-up to very specifically target my goals as a vocalist. Then each week I define the song I wish to incarnate and deliver. I train it daily for a minimum of 30 minutes. And that minimum is basically because if I were to just let myself go and flow, I would just songwrite all day. And I would make a bunch of these songs, but I probably wouldn't integrate them into okay, I can play this very well. There's a big difference between for me writing a song in which, it is written, and then being able to play it, and then being able to play it well. So the purpose of this whole mission is to play really well all of these songs that I've already written. And the AhziRa practice is an hour the minimum daily to practice each song is 30 minutes. So I still can play and write music as well. Writing music feels kind of like the, just, I'm at the playground, I'm in the sea of discovery. I fuck with that. So, and then each week I practice to perform and I record a new piece. Then there's a physical practice. So there's a 10-minute embodiment session, which is just a physical motion session. And there's a backflip visualization every day. This is all about, to me, it's like establishing momentum within connectivity with my body. Then I want to do a 4-week power training, which could be going to the gym, going for a run, or going to train at this gymnastics gym, the backflip. And then I want to go to the gymnastics gym at least once a week. Then I have restrictions. So the restrictions on this one is just no nicotine purchasing. And that's just because I recognize it's a distraction. And I enjoy smoking. It's, I don't really subscribe to the whole like, or I'll say, for me, I appreciate tobacco in my life. And I think it's, in order to develop a healthy relationship with tobacco, it's important to be able to choose like, okay, I'm doing it now, and I can turn it off. And I can turn it off and on whenever I want to, whenever I hear the call to. So that's essentially the outline for the creative design container that I have established. And the core aspects of this are that I have clear output with the songs and how I deliver them. I have a physical practice, which to me is just like the yin and yang of the music practice. It's really important that the body in which the music is coming through is trained and tuned. And I have a daily practice, which is like a protocol that I may repeat on a regular basis. And to me, all of this is like how I prepare for the journey that is to come. It is my dieta before going into the Amazon. It is my offering to this world in the Amazon. So to me, it's all about like, this is how I may most deeply optimize myself to prepare for that which is to come and to honor the work which has already come through me. So I'm really excited for this. I'm nervous about it. I definitely am like, fuck, I'm asking a lot of myself. And it's going to be, I know it's going to be a challenge, and I'm up for it. I do have doubt. I have fear, I have hesitation, but it's like I can be with all of that and go forward and do my best. And the core thing is that I'm telling my truth, telling myself the truth throughout the process, and collecting data points, collecting information, developing awareness about myself within the process. So I hope this supports you, inspires you in some way. Thanks for tuning in and listening. And, oh yeah, another important aspect is just that there's a clear duration. I'm conducting this particular experiment for this amount of time, and I have an end date of the 23rd next month. So technically it's 42 days. Yeah, so love you all. May the force be with us.